Welcome to Finance Matters, a production of the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. I am your host, Daniel Pasley, and today on the program, we will be focusing on the contribution of the Financial Investigations Division on economic resilience. And who best to speak to us about this topic than Chief Technical Director of the FID, Mr. Robin Sykes. Thank you so much for coming again on our program.
Thank you for having me.
Now, how does the FID contribute to economic resilience?
All right. I think there are two main areas. And the first one, I think, is, of course, a part of national security. So a stable security environment is one that is conducive to economic stability and growth. And many of government's policies have pointed out the national security policy, Vision 2030, speaks to taking the profit out of crime as a fundamental element of creating that stable environment. So if the economic incentive to commit crime is removed,
right,
and people understand that, the likelihood of the big car that you're going to acquire through crime, the likelihood is that it's going to be seized and restrained by the government, then that is a disincentive to commit crime. So that our contribution is in the national security environment. But secondly, our contribution is in the financial integrity area, because we do not want an economy that is built on using the proceeds of crime infiltrating business and the economy. Mm-hmm. So we have to ensure that our financial sector is secure. We don't want to have a headline one day that a bank in Jamaica is conducting money laundering.
Exactly.
So we need to strengthen our financial systems, and we play a big role as the designated authority under our law in getting our institutions to strengthen their systems.
So national security and financial integrity.
That is critical.
Could you tell me a little bit more about the process as it relates to national security?
Well, national security, the FID is both an intelligence gathering as well as an investigative agency. And added to that, we are the asset recovery agency. So we focus on financial crime. We work closely with both our domestic and overseas partners in dealing with cases relating to financial crime. And again, the legislative framework is flexible enough that taking the profit out of crime does not necessarily mean going to the criminal courts. You can actually go to the civil courts. It has a lot of very interesting powers, like, for example, the power to freeze someone's assets. That is something that is very useful, because sometimes you want to investigate an offense. You're in the process of investigating, but you don't want the person to dissipate his assets in the interim. So we have the power to go to court and get a freezing order on person's assets. There are provisions that relate to the provision of living expenses and so on. But basically, we try to use the legislative tools at our disposal to work on national security issues.
And as it relates to financial integrity, what's the process?
Well, financial integrity really deals with the monitoring of our financial institutions and their own processes for dealing with anti-money laundering issues. So they are under a number of obligations at law. I know people complain about, the data that banks take from you when you are doing business. That is a part of their procedures to protect themselves against money laundering risk. So that's, we give them guidance, and we are the designated authority. We tell them what to report and give them guidance, because of course, reporting on a suspicious transaction is subjective or can be subjective. So we give them guidance as to what it is that we're looking for in reporting.
And thank you so much for shedding some light on how the FID contributes to economic resilience, national security, and financial integrity. But in our next program, I really want to know about some of the achievements of the FID and the way forward. So I can't wait to see you next week to delve into that topic.
It was a pleasure.
All right, so thank you once again for watching Finance Matters. I thank CTD Sykes coming on once again and explaining the contribution of the FID to economic resilience. I'll see you next week, and have a great day.